Right after Crawford landed a punch on Canelo at the airport, things took a bad turn for him. It wasn't long before he ended up in handcuffs. The situation escalated fast, and airport security wasted no time in detaining Crawford.
Easy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won.
Reports indicate that after a brief altercation, local authorities arrived and took the undisputed welterweight champion into custody.
Yo, Turk, tell him we going for Canelo next.
Yes. Let's go. Canelo, come on.
Although he was arrested, it didn't mean things were only going downhill for him. He was taken into custody but was fortunately released soon after. Following his release, Terence Crawford remained locked in on one objective: fighting Canelo Alvarez. According to British boxing manager Eddie Hearn, Crawford's main focus at this stage of his career is securing a fight with Canelo, one of the sport's biggest stars. Already an undisputed champion in 2 divisions, super lightweight and welterweight, Crawford recently made a dominant entry into the super welterweight division. In his debut, he captured the WBA title by defeating the tough Israel Mafu. This victory firmly established him as a top contender in the division and brought him a step closer to cementing his legacy in boxing history. However, despite his historic achievements and his pursuit of a 3rd undisputed title in the super welterweight division, Crawford appears to have his sights set on something even bigger: a showdown with Canelo Alvarez. Eddie Hearn believes Crawford is less focused on cementing his legacy by unifying the super welterweight division and more motivated by the financial rewards that a fight with Canelo would bring.
Johnny Boy Boxing Fight Hype. I just want to ask you, what do you think about Terence Crawford? What do we think about Terence Crawford's performance, and do you want to get a fight with him?
If the money is right, I mean...
$100 million? I heard Turkey offered you a big money already.
150.
150?
Terence Crawford has a rare opportunity to make boxing history by becoming the first fighter in the 4-belt era to unify 3 divisions. His victory over Israel Mafu earned him the WBA title in the super welterweight division, and now the WBO has officially ordered its champion, Sebastian Fundora, who also holds the WBC title, to defend his belts against Crawford.
But not in this moment. Now I need to maximize the most money for the fighter. And I believe he deserves it.
Is that Errol Spence Jr.?
That's correct.
Over Crawford? Like, does Spence more money? Or?
No, Crawford will not sell out 90,000 people in Dallas. I can tell you that much.
But Crawford
A fight against Fundora would bring Crawford one step closer to becoming a 3-division undisputed champion, a historic achievement that very few boxers have even come close to reaching. Yet, despite the prestige that comes with such an accomplishment, Crawford seems to have shifted his focus to a different goal: Canelo Alvarez. Eddie Hearn, the influential Matchroom promoter, shared his thoughts on what he believes is driving Crawford's recent decisions. According to Hearn, Crawford's motivations no longer revolve around building a lasting boxing legacy. Instead, Hearn believes Crawford is now more focused on securing big-money fights that will set him up for a comfortable retirement. I don't think Terence Crawford will fight again unless it's against Canelo Alvarez, Hearn told Sport. He's made good money in his recent bouts, but I don't see him taking on fighters like Virgil Ortiz or Jaron Ennis. He's now only looking for big paydays, and that means Canelo. Hearn's viewpoint highlights a larger trend in the boxing world. Fighters who have already achieved significant success become more selective as they near the end of their careers. At 36, Crawford has already secured his place in boxing history, and according to Hearn, he's now focused on the most financially rewarding opportunities before retiring. Crawford's earnings have surged in recent years, particularly after his high-profile wins over Errol Spence Jr. and his recent triumph over Mafu. These massive paydays have reshaped his perspective on future bouts. As Hearn pointed out, Crawford has grown used to earning substantial sums for his fights, making it unlikely that he'd take a pay cut to face lesser-known opponents like Virgil Ortiz or Jaron Ennis. Hearn mentioned that Crawford is accustomed to that level of pay now, and the only way to keep those figures rolling in is through a fight with Canelo Alvarez. I don't see him rushing to fight anyone else, especially not younger competitors, Hearn said. This reality places Crawford in a unique position. While he has the opportunity to make history by unifying the super welterweight division, he's in no rush to face just anyone. Instead, he seems content to wait for the perfect opportunity to secure a massive payday, something only a fight with Canelo Alvarez could offer. Interestingly, a Crawford-Canelo fight nearly happened earlier this year when Saudi Arabian boxing chief Turki Usyk expressed interest in hosting the mega event. Usyk even went as far as to place the matchup at the top of his boxing wish list. However, after communication issues, Usyk publicly withdrew his offer and released a lengthy statement accusing Canelo of avoiding both David Benavidez and Crawford. The statement shook the sport and temporarily stalled any talks of a potential Crawford-Canelo fight. Despite that, it seems the bridges between the two camps have been repaired, and the fight is once again a real possibility. The only issue now is timing. Canelo Alvarez has his own plans. After his fight with Berlanga, he stated he would take a break to enjoy time with his family and his earnings before getting back into the ring for a potential showdown with Crawford. This means Crawford will have to wait in the wings while Canelo explores other options, like a fight with Sebastian Fundora or rising stars such as Virgil Ortiz or Jaron Ennis. However, according to Hearn, Crawford's stance is clear. He's only interested in fights that promise a massive payday.
Supposed to fight
Terence Crawford,
for the WBO title, and now that he's fighting Spence, it's gonna get stripped from him.
Right.
So
Eddie Hearn has openly expressed his doubts about Crawford's future in the sport. "I wouldn't be shocked if he didn't fight again," he said. "He's made so much money already, and after that tough fight with Mafu, he might not want to risk it all again." Hearn's comments highlight the cautious mindset many elite fighters adopt as they approach the later stages of their careers. With millions in the bank and a potential mega fight with Canelo on the horizon, Crawford isn't in a rush to face lesser-known contenders. Instead, he's waiting for the perfect opportunity to present itself, and that opportunity is Canelo Alvarez. Hearn continued, "I think he probably looks at the Israel Mafu fight and thinks, blimey, not that he got away with it, but he could have lost it all there." He's thinking more carefully now, and he's not going to rush back into the ring unless it's for a huge payday. For now, it seems Terence Crawford is content to play the waiting game. He's not interested in a quick return to the ring, and according to Hearn, it's unlikely fans will see him fight again before the year ends. Instead, Crawford will stay in shape, biding his time and waiting for the right opportunity, a fight with Canelo Alvarez. Crawford's long-term strategy is clear. He's aiming for the biggest payday possible, and that means targeting the sport's biggest star. Whether the fight happens remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: Crawford is determined to make it a reality. While waiting for Canelo to make his move, Crawford might find another opportunity on the horizon, and that could be a fight with Fundora.
He's a legend right now in this sport, and one of the top fighters. So, I like to get in the ring with him too. It'd be a great fight. He's before that Terence Crawford fight, he was considered one of the best fighters in the world. Let's do it. Whatever they give me, Earl Spence is a great opportunity. I think it's a match made in heaven.
Originally, Fundora was in discussions for a fight with Errol Spence Jr., the very man Crawford defeated to cement his status as the undisputed welterweight champion. However, Fundora's recent victory over Tim Tszyu, which earned him both the WBO and WBC titles, has shifted his focus. His plans to fight Spence now face a major obstacle, as the WBO has ordered him to begin negotiations with Crawford within the next 30 days. This has put Fundora in a difficult position. If he doesn't come to an agreement with Crawford soon, the WBO has threatened to call for a purse bid, with the real risk that Fundora could lose his WBO title. The WBO's directive is clear: any refusal from Fundora to proceed with the Crawford fight, unless both parties agree otherwise, will result in the forfeiture of his belt. This sudden turn of events leaves Fundora with a tough decision: stick to his plan to fight Spence, risking the loss of his WBO title, or pivot towards a massive unification clash with Crawford. Fundora, who once expressed a strong desire to face Spence, now finds himself uncertain about his next steps. The allure of facing Crawford, one of the most accomplished fighters of this generation, presents both a challenge and an opportunity. But for Fundora, the stakes are high. One wrong move could cost him not only the fight but also a title he's worked so hard to secure. For Crawford, the WBO's decision brings him closer to a bout that could further solidify his legacy. After taking the WBA belt from Mafu in his super welterweight debut, a unification fight with Fundora could bring Crawford closer to an incredible achievement, becoming a three-division undisputed champion. Crawford has already conquered the super lightweight and welterweight divisions, and now, with the WBO's involvement, his road to greater success may unfold faster than expected. There's also an interesting twist. After Crawford's win over Mafu at 154 pounds, many are beginning to wonder how his skills will translate at an even higher weight class. Mafu, a formidable opponent, certainly tested Crawford's abilities in their super welterweight bout, and this new challenge could push Crawford even further. While Crawford emerged victorious, it raised questions about his potential to move up in weight classes and fight at 168 pounds against Canelo Alvarez. Crawford himself seems open to the idea but has some concerns. Speaking 2 days after his win, he made it clear that his decision would depend on one key factor: money. "You know what I say," Crawford told Chris Mans, "if the money's right, we gotta fight." With those words, he left the door open to a possible showdown with Canelo. However, despite his confidence, Crawford knows that moving up from 154 pounds to 168 pounds is a monumental challenge. He acknowledged this, adding, "Alvarez has got a fight that he's focused on. I'm going to go back to my family, relax, and enjoy this win. Enjoy all the successes that I've made in the sport of boxing." At this stage of his career, Crawford has already cemented his place in boxing history as a multi-division world champion, conquering every challenge thrown his way. But facing Canelo at 168 pounds would be something entirely different, both a size and skill challenge that could test the very limits of Crawford's abilities. While Crawford remains optimistic, he's aware that moving up in weight isn't just about skill. It's about how power and durability translate across different divisions. Mafu, while skilled and tough at 154 pounds, doesn't compare to the monsters waiting at super middleweight. Canelo Alvarez, who is naturally bigger and has spent years fighting at that weight, has shown he can take punishment from larger fighters and still dominate. Stepping into the ring with someone like Canelo means facing a fighter who has already proven his mettle at higher weights and possesses knockout power to back it up. Crawford is no stranger to overcoming challenges, rising through the ranks and defeating champions in multiple weight classes. However, 168 pounds is a leap into uncharted territory for him. Yet, as he thought more about the possible fight with Canelo, Crawford didn't seem intimidated by the challenge. "Not at all," he said. "I'm pretty sure Mafu could fight at 168. This guy is big in the minors. He fought at a higher weight than he is now and was very competitive." Crawford's point about Mafu's size is valid. Mafu is no small fighter, and Crawford handled him well. However, there's a world of difference between an opponent like Mafu and a seasoned fighter like Canelo. While Mafu may have fought at higher weights in the amateurs, he isn't the same as a fighter with Canelo's experience and track record. Canelo has been dominant at super middleweight and even moved up to light heavyweight to win a title, making the gap in size, power, and experience substantial. Crawford's possible jump to 168 pounds could be a massive gamble. The real question is whether Crawford's skills, timing, ring IQ, and power can hold up against bigger, stronger opponents. While Crawford has carried his power up to 154 pounds, 168 is a completely different beast. Fighters like Canelo, who have honed their skills at that weight class for years, are used to the speed and force that come with bigger bodies. They've built their style around dealing with other large fighters. This is where Crawford's challenge becomes more daunting. Can he continue to outthink and outbox opponents when giving up major size and power advantages? If Crawford decides to go ahead with the fight, he'll be facing not just the best super middleweight in the world, but one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the sport. Canelo has beaten the likes of Gennady Golovkin, Sergey Kovalev, and Caleb Plant, fighters with size, power, and experience at heavier weights. While Crawford's skills are undeniably world-class, His ability to take punches from a true super middleweight like Canelo could be the deciding factor in the fight. Alexander Usyk, the undisputed heavyweight champion from Ukraine, recently weighed in on the chance of Crawford stepping up to fight Canelo Alvarez. Despite widespread doubts about Crawford's ability to bulk up and handle the power and size of Alvarez, Usyk offers a different perspective. He sees something in Crawford that many might be overlooking: his exceptional skill set and agility in the ring. In Usyk's eyes, Crawford's versatility, ring IQ, and ability to box effectively could cause real problems for Canelo. In a recent interview, Usyk expressed confidence in Crawford's chances, boldly predicting that Crawford could emerge victorious against the Mexican giant. "I say Terence wins. Terence is a different man. Terence works in sides on the right and the left," Usyk noted. His belief in Crawford stems from the American's dexterous fighting style, his ability to switch between orthodox and southpaw stances, and his fluidity in the ring. Usyk, who has built his career on adaptability and skill, sees a similar quality in Crawford. Usyk emphasized another aspect of Crawford's game that could give him an edge: his control of distance. He believes Crawford can box like a big guy. This is high praise coming from a fighter like Usyk, who rose from cruiserweight to become one of the top heavyweights in the world by using his brain, footwork, and control of space. If Usyk believes Crawford can box like a big guy, it suggests that he sees the potential for Crawford's style to neutralize some of the physical advantages Canelo would bring to the table. Usyk's belief in Crawford's skills may come as a surprise to those who view the potential size disparity as too great to overcome. Crawford has never fought above 154 pounds, and moving up to 168 pounds to face a seasoned and powerful super middleweight like Canelo seems like a small feat. However, Usyk's opinion is rooted in his deep understanding of the sweet science. He knows that size isn't everything in boxing, and that skill, timing, and strategy often win fights. This stands in contrast to many other voices in the boxing world who believe it would be a massive risk for Crawford to pack on extra weight and try to compete with a fighter as strong and physically imposing as Canelo. After all, Canelo has fought and defeated much larger opponents at both super middleweight and light heavyweight, proving that his power and strength can carry over into higher divisions. But Usyk remains confident in his prediction, aligning it with the idea that Crawford's boxing IQ, combined with his ability to adjust and adapt, could potentially disrupt Canelo's rhythm and cause him problems in the ring. As the boxing world eagerly awaits to see if a fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez will come to fruition, with Canelo's win over Edgar Berlanga and Crawford waiting for the right opportunity, it may take a few more months before serious negotiations begin. However, if the stars align, fans could be treated to one of the most highly anticipated matchups in recent history. For Crawford, a fight against Canelo isn't just about the money. It's about solidifying his legacy as one of the greatest fighters of all time. If he can secure the fight and pull off a victory, it would undoubtedly be the crowning achievement of an already illustrious career. But until then, all Crawford can do is wait. What do you think? Do you believe Crawford can take down Canelo? Or is he being too ambitious? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more updates. See you in the next one.